Hello everyone, welcome my dear students to India's first live tuition, animated live tuition. So let's go ahead guys. So what you have to do is keep your cameras turned on. Let's get ready for a brand new session guys. So I welcome everyone to 90 plus my tuition app. So let's go ahead guys, keep your cameras turned on. Let's begin a brand new session. Okay. So in the previous session what we have been discussing, we have discussed a particular case where an object travels 16 meter in 4 seconds and then another 16 minute in another 2 seconds. So all those things we were discussing. Should we go ahead with another problem or the remaining concepts? Remaining portions or remaining concepts? What do you think? Any guesses? Any suggestions? Opinions? Hi sir, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon everyone. Good evening, good evening. Okay, some of you are sharing good afternoon, some of you are sharing good evening. Anyways, so wishes for everyone. So before we go, any queries, concerns coming up, let me know real quick. So we are gonna go ahead with the next topic, that is none other than speed with detection. So we have been discussing the core concepts regarding the average speed, right? So we are going to discuss the remaining concepts regarding velocity and speed. Now average velocity is left out, right? So let's go ahead with the concepts of velocity. Yes, John, right? John Patrick, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, I wasn't present for the last two classes, so I'm not sure what we've been dealing with.
You are not sure what we have been dealing with? So, I'll have a quick recap for you, not just for John Patrick, for those who have missed our sessions. So, we'll have a quick recap for the portions which we have already covered. Okay, John Patrick, what was your concern?
I was absent for the last 2 days.
Okay, yeah, I'm asking what was the reason for it?
I was shifting my house.
Okay, fine. So anyways, please do try to attend all the sessions live right away, okay? And also, for the missed sessions which you missed, please do contact our admin team and get the links of the live sessions. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Fine. So let's go ahead. So we have been discussing what is motion. So we have learned that motion is the change in position of a body with time. So motion can be expressed in terms of distance and displacement. So we have been discussing the concepts of distance and displacement. So distance moved is the actual length of the path traveled by a body. Now what about displacement? It is the length of the shortest path. Please don't forget, shortest path between the initial position and the final position. So this is termed as displacement. So after that we have discussed, can the magnitude of displacement be equal to the distance traveled by an object? It's possible, right? It can be equal, but it's not necessary to be equal always. So it's saying that it's important to know that the distance traveled does not have to equal the magnitude of the displacement always. There will be exceptional cases as well. Now, with respect to the comparison of distance versus displacement, we have checked out distance is a scalar quantity, displacement is a vector quantity, distance measured is always positive, displacement can be positive or negative depending on the reference point. Guys, this is not in practice, is not applicable in the case of practical applications, only in the case of when we are considering a number line or something. Okay, so if you are considering a number line and the object is moving from the origin of 0 to 1 or 0 to 2 or 0 to -1, all these things, in all these cases the displacement will have a negative value, but distance can't be 0 or negative. So distance can't be 0 if there is motion, displacement will be 0 if the body comes back to its initial position. What does that mean? It means that if the initial position and the final position is the same, displacement can be 0, and the unit of distance and displacement is meter itself. Now, an object has moved through a distance can have 0 displacement. If yes, support your answer with an example. Yes, an object can show a 0 displacement, as I've told you, if the initial position and the final position. John, are you listening? If an object is starting from this particular point and travels all the way and comes back to this particular point, so what is the initial point? This particular point itself, right? So what is the final position? Initial position and the final position is at the same point. So what about the displacement? Displacement will be 0. Got it, John? Not just for John, for all those who missed the previous session or the previous sessions which we have handled. Now, a body is thrown vertically upward, rises up to a height s and comes back to the position of start. Calculate the total distance traveled by the body and calculate the displacement of the body. So we have learned that when an object is going to a particular height h, the distance traveled will be s plus h, right? Because an object which we are throwing vertically upwards will come down for sure, right? Gravitation is there, right? Gravity, the force of gravity will be there. So obviously we have to measure h plus h. H is the height and h plus h will be 2h. That will be the total distance, and the displacement will be 0 since the initial position and the final position will be the same. Yes, unmute Sarah, you wanted to answer or you had a query, Sarah? Okay, so accidentally you raised your hand or what? Fine, fine. So
No,
okay.
I just wanted to answer.
You want to answer this particular question, right?
Yeah.
What will be the total distance?
It will be 2h and the displacement will be 0.
Yeah, the total distance will be 2h and the displacement will be 0. So this particular question we have already discussed in detail. So John, for this particular question, what you have to do? Please do watch the recording, okay? So then only you will understand it in a detailed way. So with respect to the question, the length of the track is given. 4 rounds athlete have done. So he has covered 4 rounds. So 4 into length of the track, it is 800 meters. Now the displacement is 0 since the initial and final position is the same. So non-uniform motion. So it was asked whether it is uniform motion or non-uniform. Since the direction is changing, it is non-uniform motion. Now over here the question was like this: whether the displacement and distance is equal or not. No, they are not equal. Why? Because displacement is 0 in this case and the distance will be 800 meters. Why the displacement is 0? When the athlete is covering a circular track, what is happening? He is starting from a particular position and he is coming back to the same position itself after 4 rounds. So end of the day, initial position and the final position will be the same. So the displacement will be 0. Then after that, we have checked out what is uniform motion and non-uniform motion. So basically, uniform motion is a term where an object covers equal amount of distances in equal intervals of time. That is uniform motion. So uniform amount of distance in uniform amount of time. That is uniform motion. Non-uniform motion means unequal distances in equal intervals of time. Now, what does the path of an object look like when it is in uniform motion? It will be a straight line for sure. In the case of a position time graph. Now, the path also will be a straight path. Only the straight path will have uniform motion, right? Why? If the object is changing direction, what will happen? Its speed will have a variation, right? So obviously the speed won't be uniform. Got it? So it will not be in uniform motion if its direction is changing. So obviously the path of an object which is moving in uniform motion will be a straight line. Got it, everyone? Nod your head. Fine. Now after that we have discussed about the measuring the rate of motion. So I hope you might have noticed in the cricket scoreboard will be the speed of the delivery, speed of the ball will be shown 136 km/h. So it is shown over here. So why is it required? It is the amount of distance covered with respect to particular time. So that is termed as speed. So speed is equal to distance by time. That is V is equal to S by T. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. Then after that we have discussed about average speed. Average speed is total distance covered by total time taken. Speed means what? A particular amount of distance in a particular time. But what about average speed? It's the total amount of distance, not any particular instance. It is just that what is the amount of distance it is covering. So that particular total distance we need to measure, and also we need to consider the total time taken, not the time taken for a particular instance. Got it, everyone? That is the difference between speed and average speed. So so as to find average speed, we need to consider the total distance and the total time taken. So with respect to speed, what you have to consider? You have to consider only that particular distance and that particular time required. So all those things will be time taken. So all those things will be covering with respect to average speed, and based on that we have checked out a problem where an object travels 16 meters in the first 4 seconds and then another 16 meters in the next 2 seconds. So if we were asked what is the speed in the first case, so what we'll be doing? We'll be doing 16 divided by 4. 16 meter divided by the time taken, that is 4 seconds. 16 divided by 4 will be 4 meter per second, right? So the speed will be 4 meter per second. Then in the second case, 16 meter divided by 2. So 16 by 2 will be 8. So it will be 8 meter per second. So we got the speed in each case. But how will we find the average speed? So as to find the average speed, we need to find the total distance traveled. So the total distance will be 16 plus 16, that is 32 meters. Now what we have to do, we need to find the total time taken. So that will be 4 plus 2 seconds is 6 seconds. Got it? Now the average speed will be 32 divided by 6. So end of the day we are getting the answer as 5.33 meter per second. So before we go with the next topic, unmute John. Any tough, thorough confusions?
Just the previous question that you explained.
This particular question, right? Fine.
Yes.
So in this particular question, a particular object is covering 16 meter in the first 4 seconds. Let's consider 4 seconds and 3 seconds. So in the first 4 seconds it is covering 16 meter, and the next 2 seconds it is covering 16 meter. Okay. So the amount of distance it is covering is same, but the time duration is different. Got it? So what you have to find? You have to find the average speed. So as to find the average speed, we need to add the total distance and total time. So total distance will be 32 divided by 4 plus 2 is 6. So it will be 5.33. Got it, Patrick? John Patrick?
Yes.
Now, let me tell you what is the difference between average speed and speed. Speed will be the speed which we measure for a particular instance. So what we will do, in this case we will measure the speed. 16 meter divided by 4. 16 by 4 will be 4 meter per second. So is it the average speed? No. This is the speed in the first particular case. Got it? And in this case also we can measure the speed. So it will be 16 by 2. That is distance by time. We have learned, right? Speed is equal to distance by time. Can you see over here? So what is the difference with respect to average speed? It's the total distance divided by total time taken. Got it, John Patrick?
Understood.
Yeah. So let's go ahead with the next topic, that is none other than speed with direction. So basically we'll have to discuss about velocity. So let's go ahead with it. So velocity is the distance traveled in unit time in a given particular direction. So with respect to velocity, basically we'll be terming this particular distance as displacement. Okay. So as to measure speed, it will be distance by time. So as to measure velocity, it will be displacement by time. So the distance traveled in unit time in a given direction is termed as velocity, that is speed plus direction. So velocity is equal to displacement by time. Why? Because it has direction as well. We have learned speed is a scalar quantity. Why? It has only magnitude, no direction. But what is the difference with respect to velocity? It has direction as well. So velocity is equal to speed with direction, or speed plus direction. So that is velocity. So when we equate it, it is velocity is equal to displacement by time. So please do note it down, everyone. Quick. Real quick, note it down. In the meantime, Miha sir will be making me invisible. Guys, once you're done, give me a done or thumbs up so that I'll come back. Yes, Mihas. Everyone done or what? Fine then, I'll come back. Everyone is commenting. Dansa, yes. So, someone has hand raised. Unmute Daniel. Yes, Daniel. What's your query? Go for it.
Teacher, sir, velocity is displacement by time or like displacement slash time?
Displacement by time. That is the same, right? Displacement per time or displacement by time. It'll be the same, right?
Okay,
So displacement with respect to time. That is it. That's it. Got it? So if you want it defined specifically, it'll be like this. Displacement divided by time. Got it? Who was that? Daniel. Clear?
Um,
Fine.
okay.
Yeah. Uh, Insha. Hi Insha, what's your concern? Go for it.
So to find velocity, we can use both the formulas.
Both the formulas in the sense, which particular formula?
Velocity is equal to speed plus direction, and velocity is equal to
Speed
displacement
plus
by time.
direction is the definition of it. How will you add numerical value of direction? What will you do, Insha? Not possible, right? Will you add arrows like this? Okay, speed will be 2 meter per second. 2 meter per second plus direction is like this. Will you do it? Not possible, right?
No.
This is just the definition of it. So just to so as to memorize it in a better way, I just made it like this. Got it? So that you'll understand. So as to write for exams, you'll be remembering. Okay, velocity was speed plus direction, which means speed with direction. Okay, that is velocity, a physical quantity which has direction along with speed. Got it? Fine. Nisha is like, yes, got it. So unmute Mehrab. Mehrab, you just joined now or you were there from the beginning?
I was there from the beginning.
From the beginning itself you are there, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't join late? Sure?
No, sir.
Fine. So Mehrab, tell me, what is velocity? What did you understand till now? From this particular slide. Go for it.
Velocity is like speed plus direction, like
Speed with direction, okay.
yeah, it's like
What is the difference between velocity and speed? The basic difference.
velocity. It's basically like it includes speed and it basically like it shows the like how much traveled in a particular direction, while speed is just it's showing
The amount of distance covered with respect to time. But velocity will be showing the speed along with direction. Got it?
yeah.
Yes, very good, Mehrab. So let's go ahead, guys. I hope everyone has done writing. So we have been learning about velocity, right? So let's go ahead with average velocity. We have learned speed and average speed. Now we have learned about velocity. Let's learn about average velocity. So average velocity will be the initial velocity plus the final velocity divided by 2. Okay? So that is V average is equal to U plus V divided by 2, where U is the initial velocity and V is the final velocity. V is the final velocity. Everyone note down the equation. Average velocity is equal to initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. Okay, initial velocity means what? Velocity of the body when they are starting the journey, right? When they are starting to move, they're starting at that starting point. What will be their velocity? That is the initial velocity. When the object is moving in the end, that is the final velocity where we are considering. The particular instance which we are considering, the final velocity where the velocity will end or the object will be stopping or there, or it'll have a particular speed or velocity, it'll have a particular value. So that is the final velocity at the final point. Okay, initial velocity means at the starting point or at the starting instance where we are considering. Okay, so when we do some problems regarding this, you will understand this particular concept in a better way. So please do note down the equation. Once you're done, please do let me know, and don't forget to write U is the initial velocity and V is the final velocity. Once you're done, please do let me know. Quick, real quick. Once you're done, give me a thumbs up or type down in the chat box. Quick. Let me see. Sanjit is done. Okay, a lot of students are done. Faiza is done. Good afternoon. Who is saying good afternoon now? Who just joined now? Maz, unmute yourself. There is Maz. Hi Maz, you just joined now or what?
Yes, sir.
Why you were late?
I have an important thing.
What important thing?
Yeah.
What kind of important thing? If it's personal, you can type it down.
Sleeping.
Sleeping. Okay. What you'll be doing is you will be writing velocity is equal to speed plus direction 10 times. Okay. Got it? Clear?
Like the
Yeah.
formula.
Yeah. This is not a formula. This is the proper definition of it. Velocity is equal to speed plus direction. So Judy ma'am is like, oh god, why Mars has said good afternoon? Cause of that I caught him, right? Anyways, I'll be nodding it.
No, it's actually okay.
It's okay, it's just that Mars, you'll be learning it, okay? It's not something, don't take it like, okay, I got an imposter. No, it's just that you'll be learning velocity is equal to speed plus direction, okay? This is not the formula, it is how you can memorize. Speed along with direction is the quantity called as velocity. Clear, Mars?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like
When-
what's the
yeah.
topic name?
Come again?
Topic name.
Name.
Topic.
Topic name. It is velocity. You can write velocity. Velocity. Velocity is termed as speed with direction. That is, velocity is equal to speed plus direction. And don't forget to write the equation velocity is equal to displacement by time. Got it, Mars?
Yes, thanks.
Got a new haircut or what? Mute, Mars. When did you get a new haircut?
It has been around 5 days.
And getting a new haircut and sleeping all day or what? No, right?
I mean, what's the difference? Like if you get a new figure and sleep.
What is the difference?
I mean, what's when it happen? Like. If you
That's
get-
why I'm asking why you're getting late to the session. Is it related to your haircut or what?
No, it's related to school.
Cool.
So to make friends in school.
Okay. So please try to join on time for the session. So please do reach out if you have any queries. So velocity is clear, right, Mars? Fine. So let's go ahead. So average velocity, please do note down the equation. Average velocity is initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. So initial velocity is the velocity when the object starts the journey or when the object starts moving. Or when initial velocity can be 0 or else initial velocity can have a value. So you will be thinking initial velocity will be the velocity at which the object is starting, right? So it will always be 0. No. Imagine if an object is moving and we are considering a particular instance when the object is moving. So at that particular point, initial velocity will not be 0, it will have a particular value. So you will understand it when we discuss some problems regarding average velocity, so that you will have a better understanding of it. Otherwise you will be confused how initial velocity can have a value. It will always be 0, right? Because it is the velocity at the starting point. At the starting point the object is not moving, right? So the initial velocity will be 0, right? Always. But there are cases where the initial velocity is not 0. When we discuss some numericals or problems, you will understand it in a better way. Now unmute Mohammed Aris.
Sir, I joined the meeting and in between the meeting my network was having some problems, so I left. So is velocity first topic in this chapter?
Yes. Not the first topic in this chapter. In today's session, half of the chapter is already done. Not half, almost 40% or 35%. Yes.
Oh.
This is not the first session for motion. The already two more sessions are done. Got it?
Yes, sir, today's my first class. That's it.
Okay, it's okay. What you can do is you can contact our admin team. They'll be giving you links for the live sessions, links of the live sessions which you missed. Got it? So it is recorded.
Oh.
So using that links you can
Oh,
watch.
yes, sir.
Got it?
Oh, this
Fine.
one. Okay.
So please don't forget to do it so that you'll have a better understanding of the concept. So as of now, focus over here. If you have any particular confusion, please do reach out. Now let's discuss a problem, guys. So it'll be easy for you. So yes.
Definition of velocity.
Okay, definition of velocity. Unmute. Who was that?
Abid.
Abid, right? Unmute Abid.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Abid. What's your concern? Go for it.
Sir, final velocity is different, represented by v, and velocity is also represented by v.
No, velocity is not represented by v. It is represented by s. Over here, you can see that we have considered small v, right? what we'll be doing is, with respect to velocity, we'll be considering either S or capital V. Got it? Also, if you are getting confused with V, if it's mentioned V average for average velocity, if you are considering V as velocity, don't get confused with it. For final velocity, we'll be considering the lowercase v, and for particular perfect velocity, what we'll be doing? We'll be considering uppercase V. Got it? Abid, clear? What we'll be doing? For velocity, we'll be considering the uppercase V. For final velocity, we'll be considering the lowercase v. Clear? Fine. Abid is giving me a thumbs up. So please do reach out. Don't get confused, guys. And also, with respect to S, you will be thinking, for distance also, we'll be considering S. For displacement also, we'll be considering S. So you'll be confused, right? You'll be confused. But, so as to find velocity, we'll be considering displacement. Isn't it? For velocity, we'll be considering displacement. But for speed, what we'll be doing? We'll be considering distance. So for both of them, we'll be considering S, right? So for both velocity, for both distance and displacement, we'll be considering S. So what we'll be doing? For in the question, if it's mentioned, if we have to find the velocity, it'll be the S will be displacement, and if you have to find the speed, it'll be the S will be distance. And also, if in the question it is given, we have to find the average speed and average velocity. In that case, with respect to the particular value which we consider, S will be depicted for distance and displacement. Don't get confused with it. Okay? In all the cases, the equation of velocity we will be writing it as V is equal to S by T, and the equation of speed also we will be writing it as V is equal to S by T. But don't get confused with it. It's just that we are considering for distance and displacement as S itself. Got it, everyone? It is the conventional method. It's not something like, okay, why the tutor is taking S all the time? Can you take other alphabets, right? In English, alphabetical order, we have a lot of alphabets, right? We are supposed to take some other N, O, or M or something, right? Why we are taking S all the time? It is just that it is a conventional method. So please do reach out if you have any confusions arising when we are considering S for both distance and displacement. Obviously it will not come. It's just because in the case of velocity we will be considering displacement. In the case of speed we will be considering distance. So for both of them we will be considering S as the distance traveled. Okay, and for Abid's query, for velocity we will be considering V, and for final velocity also we will be considering V. So it is just that in the case of final velocity, we'll be considering small letter v, and for the perfect particular velocity or average velocity, we'll be considering the uppercase v. Got it, Abid? Not just for Abid, everyone. Fine. So let's go ahead with the next question. A frog hops along a straight line path from point A to point B in 10 seconds and then turns and hops to point C in another 5 seconds. Calculate the average speed and average velocity of the frog for the motion between A to B. Okay, so it is marked A, B and C is marked over here. Can you see, guys? So what is happening? A frog is moving over here. So how will we draw a frog? Guys, how will we draw a frog? Okay, this is not a bird. This is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be frog. Okay, don't say the bird is sitting over there. It's supposed to be frog. Those who are saying is a bird or something, I'll remove you guys. Got it clear? Okay, if you're mocking my artistic skills. So in the previous session, some of you are saying, sir, your diagram is so funny, please don't draw it. Mute.
Sanjit.
Hi Sanjit.
Hi, sir.
You have some trouble understanding what is this particular creature over here? Not a baby dinosaur and all. It is supposed to be what? Which creature?
A frog.
Song.
A frog.
Frog. It is supposed to be a frog. Okay. If you're trying to say it is a chameleon or something, I'll remove you from the meeting. Got it? Fine. Then it's fine. So guys, over here what is happening? This frog is hopping along a straight line path, right? From point A to point B in 10 seconds. So from point A to B, let's consider the time taken as 10 seconds. Okay? Who wants the previous slide? Some of you are asking, sir, previous slide, how How many hours you want for this particular equation? Done or what? I'm gonna go ahead. I told you guys, if you feel like you're gonna miss it, you're gonna go ahead. Yes. What happened? So please do reach out, guys. If you want the previous slide right away, you can raise your hands. So let's go ahead, guys. So with respect to this frog's problem, what is happening? The frog is covering this particular distance. Bihar sir, can you please take down this? Yes. The name bar. Yes. So here the frog is covering the distance from A to B in 10 seconds. Can you see, guys? So it is given the question. So what we'll be doing, whenever we get a particular question, what we'll be doing, we'll be trying to visualize it in our mind. So it'll be helping you a lot to get the answers. Now, then the frog, and what happens, and then turns and hops to point C in another 5 seconds. So the frog will be going all the way till here and will be coming back to the point C. Can you see point C over here? So we'll be going from A to B and will be coming back to C. So how the frog will go? The frog will hop like this, right? Frog will be hopping like this and then will come back to C. Got it, everyone? So now let's check out what should we find out. Okay, let's check out what should we find out. So it is covering hops to point C in another 5 seconds. So from here, from B to C, it is taking 5 seconds. Now, calculate the average speed and the average velocity of the frog for the motion between A to B or A to C through B. Okay, we need to find the average speed and average velocity of the frog for the motion between A to B. So, now, first, let's consider the motion between A to B. So, first case is the frogs hop from A to B. So in this case, what will happen? Let us consider the hopping of frog from A to B. So in this case, how much is the distance covered from A to B? How many units? You will be answering me from this number line itself. Guys, don't get confused. How did we got this diagram? This particular diagram will be given the question itself. Daniel, don't support your job. Got it? Fine. So guys, this particular number line will be given the question itself. So you'll understand the frog will be covering each unit, right? So from A to B, how many units are there? So try to measure it and let me know in the chat box directly. Everyone, quick. I want the answers right away, real quick. Real quick. Who wants to answer? Guys, you can raise your hands as well. Yes. Any hand raisers? Who wants to answer? How many units? What is the value from A to B? Please do let me know real quick.
Neha.
Yes, Neha, go for it. You can give it a try. From
Is it
point A
9
to point
units?
B, how many units are there?
Is it 9 units?
9 units, sure. So Neha is measuring 1, 2, 3. So let's measure it. So from A, we can measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, right? Can you see, guys? So it's 9 units. So the distance from...
Also,
Yes, go
sorry to
ahead.
interrupt. I can't write anything.
Why?
That's because I broke my hand.
Oh, great achievement. I appreciate it. Fine, so glad to hear it. So Neha, how did it happen? This good, happy news? What was the reason for it? You jumped?
I was cycling and then there's this cat that jumped in front of me and I
Who
fell
jumped?
down. The cat. A cat.
Cat. Okay.
Some cat.
Then you fell down from the cycle.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this beautiful thing happened. And how do you feel now?
It's amazing, sir.
Amazing.
Very nice experience.
Very nice experience. So you don't regret the great thing which you did, great action from your side.
Good, of course, I regret.
You're so happy since you drove the bicycle and all the way when you were riding the bicycle, the cat came all the way in front of you, right? So did you call the cat or what?
No.
No, fine. So Neha, what you have to do is take the screenshots, and once your hand is fine, please do note it down or get someone's help, your siblings or friends' help. Get the notes done. Okay? Because we can't say the cat to write the notes, right? It'll be tough. Got it? Is it your pet cat or some other random stray cat?
Stray cat. I really did not like cats before, and now I hate them even more.
Okay. Neha is like, from now on, I'm gonna throw stones and cats. No, I don't promote it. Anyways, so what you have to do? Please do focus on frogs over here. So the frog is hopping over here from A to B. So the distance from A to B. So with respect to the first case, we have seen that the distance is equal to 9 units. Distance is equal to 9 units. And the time taken for it, who will be answering me, is given the question itself. Pretty easy. So raise your hands. Neha, your turn is over. You can lower it. Who will be telling me what is the time taken for it?
Hannah.
Yes, Hannah, go for it.
Sir, 10 seconds?
10 seconds, sure.
Yes.
Okay. So the total time taken is 10 seconds. Okay, wait a second. It is supposed to be total distance, right? So total distance is okay. So we'll measure distance is equal to 9 units and the time taken is equal to 10 seconds. So in the first case, we have considered the time taken as 10 seconds and the distance traveled as 9 units. Okay? Now, in the next case, let's consider the next case. Then after that, we'll find the average speed and average velocity. So anyways, so in the first case also we need to find, right? So anyways, from A to C through B, right? A to C through B. In the case of A to C through B, what is the total distance covered? Who will be answering me? A to C through B. In this case, what is the total distance covered? Quick. Quick. Who will be answering me? Judy ma'am. Sanjit. Hi Sanjit.
Has the 14 units left?
So over here, from A to C.
Yes, sir. A to C, it is out.
A to C, what is the distance? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 units, right?
Yes, sir.
How did you get 14 then?
14, sir, from A to B, then from B to C.
So it is mentioned that A to C through B. So in that case, what do you have to do? We have to go from A to B all the way till here. So from here, we have to go back till C. Got it, everyone? So after this problem, we can get it ourselves. Yeah. So here, from A to C, from A to C through B will be, so we have to measure the distance from A to B and from B to C. So from A to B, we have already measured it. It is 9 units, right? So 9 units plus 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 9 plus 5 will be 14 units. So the distance will be 14 units. 14 units. Now, what will be the time taken? From A to C through B. For that, what is the time taken? Who will be answering me? Who will be answering me? Unmute. Anika.
I'm not sure of the answer.
It's okay. You can give a guess. No one is perfect. Go for it.
Is it 15 seconds?
Yes. How did you get 15? Go for it.
Because A to B is 10 seconds.
So for the frog to hop from A to B, from the question itself, we can see that the frog is hopping using 10 seconds from A to B. Then it comes back to C. So for that, how many seconds, Anaka?
5 seconds.
So for that, the frog is taking 5 seconds. So total will be 10 seconds plus 5 seconds. So from A to C through B, the total time taken will be 10 seconds plus 5 seconds. It will be 15 seconds. Very good, Anaka. So it will be 15 seconds. Clear, everyone? So A to B, the distance is 9 units. So in that case, the time taken is 10 seconds. So A to C through B, the distance is 14 units and the time taken is 15 seconds. Got it? Now, next, what should we do? We need to find the average speed and average velocity of the frog for the motion between each case, right? So in the first case, we need to measure the average speed. So average speed will be the total distance divided by the total time, right? So it will be 9 units divided by 10 seconds. Okay, this will be the average speed. Okay, yes, Ivan, go for it. What's your concern?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
For the scale, how are we counting it?
I'm counting it as 9 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, sir. Like for example, A to C, you took 5 units, right? You are counting from 7 to 3.
Yes, I'm counting from here to here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I'm talking about A to C.
Yeah, A to C, we have to take from here to here, right? It is through B, it is mentioned, right? A to C through B.
Sir, no, I'm not talking about through B. I'm just talking about A to C. How are you counting? Like 4 units will be there, right?
Yeah, from A, so for A to C it is 4 units. But it is mentioned is through B, right?
Yeah, sir. Sir, I'm just getting confused in the units. Like from where are you counting?
Yeah, I started from here. So it is traveling all the way till B and is coming back to C. Got it?
Yeah. I got confused because
Fine.
some are saying.
So also there are certain cases where the numerical values are considered. So in that case, what will happen? It will be 7 minus 2. Can you see? 0 to 7 and minus 2. So there are certain cases where it is considered as 7 minus 2, but what we will do, we won't consider these numerical digits. What we will do, we will just consider the total distance value. Got it? Because in the case of distance, we won't get negative values, right? Clear? Fine. Now average speed, we got it as 9 by 9 units divided by 10 seconds. Now, what will be the average velocity? What will be the average velocity? Who will be answering me? Average velocity. Everyone knows the equation for average velocity. It is none other than displacement by time, right? So in this case, what will be the average velocity? Unmute, who was that? Niranjan. Yes, Niranjan. What do you think? In this case, what will be the average velocity? Go for it.
Yes, sir. Sir, I also have a doubt also.
Go for it.
Sir, so in that graph, sir, is it supposed to be 10? Like you said 9, sir. You said 9. So how is it?
1. 7 to 6 is 1 unit. 6 to 5, 2 units. 3 units. 4 units. 5 units. 6 units. 7 units. 8 units. And 9 units.
Oh,
Clear?
but like when I go to from
7
to
plus 2 units will be 9. Got it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
If you are taking the values, it will be 7 minus 2. So we are not considering like that in this case. So anyways, yes, Rishikesh has some queries. Go for it.
Sir, I am late because I have karate class.
Come again? Okay, it's okay. What you have to do is, Rishikesh, such concerns, type it down in the chat box. Clear?
Sir, in WhatsApp, yeah. Can you please, I didn't join my class because I have karate class.
Yeah, you told me already. Fine. So what you have to do is, please do inform our admin team for the links. Okay, they will be providing you with the links. Clear? For the links of the live session. So using that, you can cover up the portion which you missed. Clear? Fine. So let's go ahead. So yes. Yes, Neha. Go for it. You want to answer the average velocity or what?
I do, but then I have a doubt.
Yes, go for it.
So in exam, how do you know if they are asking the meters in the number scale and like the units?
How do you know? How do you know?
Like over here, it's given meters, right? So in the number scale.
Yeah, so so with respect to distance, you can write 9 meters because it is mentioned, right? Meters. So if it's mentioned, you have to write 9 meters. If it's not mentioned, you have to write 9 units. So since it's mentioned, we can write as 9 meters. Okay. We can write as
Yes,
meters itself.
but then that was not my doubt. My doubt is
Yes.
that in the number scale, 7 minus 2, 5, right?
Yes.
It should be 5 meters.
Exactly.
So in exam, how do you know if they are asking about the 5 meter or 9 units thing?
So over here, if the number line is giving values like this, what you have to do is, you have to do it like 5 minus 2 itself. You have to take numerical values. But I told you, we are measuring the distance, right? So we are measuring the distance. So we don't have to consider the negative values. Only when we are considering the displacement, we have to consider the negative values. Got it? So over here, we have brought the distance values. When we are writing displacement, we will have negative values. So do you remember the comparison? Displacement can be negative, but distance measured is always positive. Clear, Neha?
Got it. So the displacement is going to be 5?
Yes. We'll check that when we measure it. I was checking. So you guys are not responding. Why, sir? Over here in the meter or in the number lane, we can see negative values. Why we are not considering? No questions coming up. That's why I'm asking. Guys, any queries, any doubts? No one asking. Okay, everyone is like, yeah, clear. No doubts, fine. We understood. Yes, madam, go for it.
Sir, what is the initial position? How do you know which is?
It is mentioned the frog is moving from A to B, so the initial point is over here. Got it, madam?
So, sir, in the question, if they say, like, so how do you understand?
Quick, don't ask questions like, sir, okay. Go ahead, real quick. Or type it down. Don't take 10-15 minutes.
Which is the initial velocity and the final velocity?
Yes. So that's your confusion. So as to find average velocity, right? So as to find average velocity, you were thinking, how will we find initial velocity and final velocity over here? So is the velocity mentioned over here in this particular question?
No.
No, right? So should we consider the initial velocity and final velocity?
I guess no.
No, what we'll be doing? We'll be considering the total displacement with respect to time, so that we'll get the velocity value. Clear?
Sir, can you show?
Yes. We'll do it. Okay? Yeah, we are going to go ahead with it. Fine. So who wants to answer with respect to velocity? What will be the average velocity in this case? Average speed we found out is 9 by 10 meter per second. 9 units and 10 seconds. Yes, Neha, go for it. What do you think about the velocity? Go for it.
The velocity is nothing but displacement by time taken. So displacement is 5, time is 10 seconds.
So velocity will be displacement by time. So over here the displacement is 5. How did you get 5? I got it as 9.
Because in displacement,
In displacement we'll have negative value. So what we'll be doing? We'll be considering the shortest distance from A to B will be 7 minus 2. So it will be 5 units. So the displacement is 5 units. Okay? Divided by. So what about the time taken from A to B? It will be the same, right? 10 seconds itself. So it will be 5 by 10 seconds. So this will be the average velocity. Clear, everyone? Nod your head. Yes. Unmute Abid. Abid, what's your concern? Your hands are raised. Go for it. Abid, are you there? Could you, ma'am, please give unmute option for Abid?
Sir, the answer of average speed is 9.66.
9 point?
66.
Okay, you did the division for 9 by 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that as well. But if you do 9 by 10, you won't get 9.66, right? You will get 0.9, something like that. Got it?
No, sir, I'm talking about average speed.
Yeah, average speed, right? 9 by 10. Can you divide 9 by 10 directly? No, right? You have to add 0. So you have to add a decimal. So 90 by 10 will be 0.9. Got it?
Nice.
Yeah, 9 divided by 10. Any number divided by 10, what will happen? We'll have to add a decimal just before it. Got it? So please keep it in your mind. Keep it in your mind. Shortcut. So anyways, we got the average speed and average velocity in the first case. Now, in the second case, A to C through B, we need to find the average speed and average velocity. Who will be helping me? Average speed. So over here, for an object moving from A to C through B. So this object, what is object? The frog, right? The frog is hopping from A to C. How? Directly from A to C? No, right? It is going all the way till B and comes back to C. Got it, everyone? For that, we have measured the distance. The distance is 14 meters. And the time taken is 15 seconds. So what you have to do? You have to find the average speed. So as to find the average speed, it's the total distance by total time taken, right? So it will be 14 meter divided by 15 seconds. So this will be the average speed. When you divide it, you will get a particular value. So you have to write it. Now, next we have to find the average velocity. So who will be helping me out to find the average velocity? What will be the average velocity? Who will be telling it? So in this case, please don't forget A to C through B. Don't think very complicated, no. So who was that? Shahjan. Anyways, so with respect to velocity, we know that it is displacement by time, right? So over here, we don't have to consider the initial velocity and final velocity, right? In this case, so what we'll be doing? We'll be considering the total displacement divided by time. So in this case, from A to B, the total displacement will be 7 units minus 2, that is 7 minus 2. Can you see minus 2? How did we get minus 2? So from 0 to 7, it is 7 units. From 0 to minus 2, it is minus 2 units. So 7 meters minus 2 units, so it will be 7 minus 2, so it will be 5 meters. Got it, Shahjan? Who was that? Shahjan, right? Shahjalin. Okay. Unmute Shahjalin, Kaur. So over here, what we'll be doing? Initially, we'll be measuring from 0 to 7, it is 7 units or 7 meters. So minus 2. 7 minus 2 will be 5 meters. So that is the total displacement. Why? Because in the comparison of distance and displacement, we have learned displacement can be a negative value, but distance can't be a negative value. So for distance, we are not considering this minus value and all. But for displacement, we are considering this minus value. So this 7 units minus 2 will be 5 meters. Got it? Clear? So it is 5 meters divided by 10 seconds. How did we get 10 seconds? It is given the question. From A to B, it is taking 10 seconds. I hope it is clear. Now, in this case, we have to find the average velocity. Who will be telling me? So this is the average velocity we will get. Yes, Neha. Okay. Azalfa. Okay. Neha, I'll give you a chance next time. Azalfa wants to answer. Yes, Azalfa, go for it. What do you think?
So here the displacement is 5.
Here the displacement is 5. How did we get the displacement 5? I don't understand. Confused. How is it 5?
So first the
Frog is hopping
point B.
from A to point B. So it will be 7 minus 2. So it will be 5 meters, right?
Yeah. And then it goes back to point C. So
it goes back to point C. So it will be minus 2 plus 3, right?
Oh, so then it will be, displacement will be 4.
Yeah, 5 minus 2 will be 3 and 3 plus 3 will be 6, right? Fine.
What?
Yeah. So Azalfa, what we'll be doing? From A to B, the frog is hopping, right? So you are considering 5 units, then you are measuring 5 minus 2, that will be 3 and 3 plus 3 will be 6. Should we do like this? So as to measure the displacement from A to C. What is displacement, Azalfa?
Displacement is the shortest distance.
Shortest distance from the initial point to final point, right? Or initial position to final position, right? What is the shortest distance from A to C?
4.
4 units, right? Got it?
Yes.
So we don't have to measure till B and C. Got it? So even if it is mentioned A to C through B, the shortest distance from A to C, that is initial position to final position, will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 units or 4 meters. Clear, Azalfa?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very good, you gave the perfect answer. So with respect to average velocity, the displacement value will be 4 meters divided by the total time taken. It is 15 seconds. So it is 4 by 15. I hope it is clear for everyone. So please do reach out, everyone. Please do let me know if you have any concerns. Okay. Let me know if you have any concerns. So in the first case, what did we do from A to C through B? What did we do? We have measured the distance, right? So for the distance, it is from A to B, it is 9 units. So from here to C, it is 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. I hope it is clear for you. So using that, we have considered the total distance is 14 meter. So the average speed is total distance divided by the total time. So it is 14 meter divided by 15 seconds. And after that, we have found the average velocity, that is the shortest distance from the initial position to final position, that is 4 meter divided by 15 seconds. Got it? So this is how we got the answers. So please do let me know, guys, if you have any concerns. Fine. So everyone, what we'll be doing, we have shared the YouTube link in the chat box. So please don't forget to click on it and try to watch, so everyone will be leaving Zoom meeting and going to YouTube. No, what you have to do is, please do share the links to your friends. So do let them know we have a YouTube channel. So our classes are going on YouTube channel as well. Not all the sessions, just just 1 or 2 chapters, just for as a demo for your friends. If your friends want to know how the classes are going on, for them to assess, for them to take a look at the sessions, whether they are getting it or not. For all those things, what you can do, please do share the YouTube link, share it in the chat box. So using that, you can refer sessions to your friends as well. Yes, Rishikesh, what's your query, concern? Go for it. Yes, Rishikesh. Sorry, ma'am, please unmute Rishikesh. Yes, Rishikesh.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Question?
Can you repeat the question? Yeah, I have.
Repeat the question in the sense, should I read the question or what?
How A to B means A is 7, B is 2, minus 2.
Yes.
No, it will get 9. This
Yes.
is equal to 9, yeah.
Yes.
Velocity is 10.
Velocity 10. How will you get 10?
10 seconds. Time taken is 10 seconds.
Yes, time taken is 10 seconds.
How can I do this?
How can you? Come again? What's your query?
It is very difficult, yeah. AB.
Very difficult. Yes, the question, if you understand it well, it is easy, not that difficult. Got it? So what's your query? Drop your query in the chat box, Rishikesh. Okay? So I didn't get your query. Unmute Abid. Yes, Abid. So some of you are asking.
There should be 5 units, right? 7, 6.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 and 4, right?
You should also count 7. The frog is standing on 7.
So the frog is standing at 7. So the distance covered by frog will be, so from 7 to 6 it will be covering 1 meter, right?
Yes.
Frog is jumping. Imagine I am the frog. So the frog is jumping from 7 to 6. 1 meter I have covered. Okay? So from 6 to 5 I'll be covering 2 meters. So from 5 to 4 if I am jumping, 3 meters. So from 4 to 3 if I am jumping, I'll cover 4 meters.
Okay.
Got it? So even if we, numerically, even if we subtract 7 minus 3, you will get 4, right? Abid, I hope it is clear. Mathematically, if you are subtracting 7 minus 4, you will get the answer as, okay, 7 minus 3, you will get 4, right? Got it? So here is 7, it is 3. So even if we subtract 7 minus 3, you will get the answer as 4. Clear, Abid? Fine. So who was that? Mohammed Aris, right? Yes, Aris, what's your concern? Go for it. Rishikesh, drop your query in the chat box.
Sir, YouTube channel for this class, right?
Yes, yes. For not all the sessions won't be there in YouTube.
No, sir. There's a YouTube channel for these classes. So you know that I missed 2 classes. So the classes will be there in this channel.
No, not all the sessions. So the previous sessions which you missed won't be there in YouTube. So what you have to do, please do contact the admin team. They'll be giving a private YouTube channel link. Okay? So it will not be public. It will not be accessible for everyone. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So unmute Abid. Abid, you still have a query or forgot to lower it? Yeah, fine. Abid is like, no sir, forgot to lower it. So guys, I hope you have noted it down. So who was asking, sir, can you show the previous question? We didn't do any previous problem. This was done in the previous exam. No, not previous exam, previous session. Yes, Neha. What do you want? Neha, which particular slide you were asking about?
I got it, sir. I took the screenshot.
This particular slide, right?
No, the previous question one.
Question.
I got it though.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So guys, everyone, if you have understood this particular problem, give me a thumbs up. Everyone, give me a thumbs up to the camera. Let me see. Thumbs up. Okay. And don't say, sir, I didn't understand later on. Now itself, you can ask if you have any query. No, right? Fine. So let's go ahead with velocity versus speed. Let's check out the comparison between velocity and speed. Okay. So, what is the difference between velocity and speed? Velocity refers to the displacement of a given object over it. Mia, sir. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. It's okay. So here, velocity refers to the displacement of a given object over a time interval, whereas speed refers to the distance moved by an object over a time interval. So what is the difference? Everything is a particular object is moving with respect to time interval. But velocity is the displacement. Velocity is the displacement, whereas the speed is the distance. Okay, that is the difference. Don't forget to know that. Now, what about the direction? Velocity has a direction, right? We have learned that velocity is speed plus direction or speed with direction. So velocity has a specific direction, whereas speed does not have any direction. So we have learned speed is a scalar quantity and velocity is a vector quantity. Why? Speed doesn't have any particular direction, whereas velocity have a specific direction. So over here, please do note it down. Velocity has a specific direction. Speed doesn't have any direction. Now the equation, you know it, right? Velocity is the displacement by time and speed is the distance divided by time. Velocity can hold a negative value. I told you, in the case of average velocity and all, we were considering the negative values and all, right? So velocity can hold a negative value. Why? It is displacement, right? We have learned when we have compared distance and displacement, we have learned in the case of displacement, we'll have a negative value, but in the case of distance, we'll not have a negative value. Now, speed cannot hold a negative value. Speed cannot hold a negative value. So please don't forget to note it down. Velocity can hold a negative value. Fine. What happened, Jiki sir? Okay, unmute Daniel. Hi Daniel.
Yes, sir.
I hope you are listening very well. Your camera is turned on. A student coordinator team was watching. I hope you know why I called your name. Okay, focus over here. Sit properly in the session. Sit properly.
Okay.
Yeah, quick. If you need a 1 minute break, you can go wash your face and come back.
No, sir. I was just writing, sir.
Okay, fine.
I was
Very
just
good.
writing the
Should I spotlight you on the screen? No, right?
No need, sir.
Okay, fine. So focus over here. Please don't support your chin, jaw, or your head. Okay, don't rest your head on your palm. Fine. So guys, please do note it down the difference between velocity and speed. It's important. There are a lot of previous questions which was depicted with respect to velocity and speed. So what is the difference between velocity and speed? What is the basic difference between velocity and speed, or distinguish between velocity and speed? So all those things are very, very important. Was that Sriman, right?
Yes.
Sriman, are you writing? Sriman, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
You're writing, right? You're writing the notes, right? So show me a notebook to the camera, quick.
I'm writing this. It was that I'm writing.
Writing?
Yes, sir.
So where's your notebook? Show it to the camera.
Yes.
I can't see what you have written. Show it close to the camera. So where is the speed, velocity and speed?
So I'm writing now.
Okay, where is the previous topic, previous problem? The frog's problem. Where is the frog's problem? Show it close to the camera.
Okay, sir.
Yes, quick. Quick.
Super.
Show it close to the camera. Judy ma'am, please pin. No, it's a blank notebook. I can't see anything. You didn't write it, right? So, Sriman, next time you won't be there in my session if you are continuing like this. It's important. Okay? Don't forget to take down the notes. Okay, this is the last warning for you. Clear? Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Note it down. Note the difference between velocity and speed. Quick, real quick. So, Sriman will be writing this particular table, the difference between velocity and speed, 5 times by the next session. Okay? Should draw this table properly and write it neatly and come up for the next session 5 times. Okay? I'll be asking you, Sriman. Don't forget it. Okay? So, Judy ma'am, please note Sriman 5 times in position, the difference between velocity and speed. So guys, once you are done noting it down, please do let me know. The difference between velocity and speed. Fine. Finished, right? Everyone done? Quick, real quick. Simple, right? All the concepts you know. Velocity, velocity means the displacement with respect to time. Speed is the distance with respect to time. Now velocity has a specific direction, speed does not have any direction. Velocity can hold a negative value and speed cannot hold a negative value. That's it. So these 2 points are similar, right? It is just the definition, it is just the equation. Same concepts. Does not have any direction, it has a specific direction. Can hold a negative value, cannot hold a negative value. Easy, done and dusted. Finished, right, everyone? Those who have finished, give me a thumbs up. Daniel, done or what? What happened to your hands? Aching or what? What is this gesture? High five or what?
No, it hurts a little.
Okay. If you support your entire jaw to your hands, it will hurt for sure. Got it? Yeah. Fine. So can I go ahead, guys? Can I go ahead? Fine. So under what conditions is the magnitude of average velocity of an object is equal to its average speed? What do you think, guys? How can an average velocity and average speed be equal? In which case? Anyone wants to answer? What do you think? Okay, some of you are asking, sir, previous slide. Guys, it has been a pretty long time, right? So those who are not done yet, take a screenshot. Once you are done with the session, please do note it down in your notebook. Okay? Sriman will be doing it 5 times. Fine. Ayman, what's your query? Go for it. Unmute yourself. You want to answer the next question or what?
Yes, sir. Answer.
Yeah. Under what conditions is the magnitude of average velocity will be equal to average speed? In which case?
Sir, if the time and the how do you say, the distance, if there's like only one particular distance and the same timing, then yes, it can be equal.
It can be equal. What about the displacement?
Yeah, displacement, only one particular distance, like we did in displacement.
Yeah, it should have only one particular value for both distance and displacement, right?
Yes, sir.
Only if it has a similar value for distance and displacement, the average velocity and average speed will be equal. Got it? So in certain case, the shortest distance will be the actual distance value of the path length, right? So in certain cases, we don't have any different path length to measure. So the distance value and the displacement value will be equal. In that case, the magnitude or the measure of average velocity or the measure of average speed will be equal. So when the displacement of the object is equal to the distance covered by it in a given time interval, the magnitude of average velocity and the average speed will be equal. Ruben, I told you guys, take a screenshot. I won't give you time anymore. Take a screenshot, we'll go ahead. Fine. So some of you wants the explanations over here. Imagine we are considering an object moving from A to B. Okay. Imagine we are considering an object moving from A to B. Okay. So in this case, what will be the distance? Okay, let's say it is 5 meters. So what will be the distance? Distance will be 5 meters, right? Distance will be 5 meters since the object is moving from this position A to B. Now, what will be the displacement? What will be the displacement? The object is moving through the straight path itself. So, is there any other shortest distance from A to B? If you draw a line like this or if you draw a line like this, will it be the shortest distance? No, right? Obviously, it won't be the shortest distance. Got it, everyone? So, over here, the value of distance and displacement will be the same. So, the displacement will also be 5 meters. So, in this case, what will be the average speed? Average speed is equal to how much? 5 by, so imagine it is taking 10 seconds, 5 by 10. And average velocity will be equal to displacement by time, right? Okay, not average speed, average velocity, okay? So average speed was supposed to be distance by time. So over here the distance is 5 meter. And the displacement is 5 meter. So average velocity is displacement by time. So we are considering displacement, that is 5 divided by the time is 10 seconds. Why we are considering displacement by time? Because over here we don't have to measure initial velocity and final velocity, right? So that is why we are considering displacement by time in the case of average velocity as well. So it is 5 by 10 and 5 by 10. So in all these cases, the values are same. So imagine if the distance value and the displacement value is same, the average speed, that is the measure of average speed and the measure of average velocity can be equal. I hope everyone got the concept. Got it, everyone? Nod your head. Those who got the concept, nod your head. If you have a query, raise your hand. Sir, I didn't understand. You can ask me. Clear? Fine. So let's go ahead, guys. I hope you have written down the answer. Guys, you don't have to write this example. It's just an example for your understanding. If you feel like okay, I'll note it down, then in that case you can note it down, but it's not important. What you have to do, please note down the answer and the question. That's it. This question was a previous question, so it is important. Everyone done or what? Daniel, are you writing? Where's your notebook? Lift it to the camera.
Yes, sir.
Where is this particular question? Close to the camera. I can't see what you have written. Close to the camera. Judy ma'am, please read. Little bit down, little bit down. Not written. Where is this particular question?
Sir, this is the exact question. Under what conditions is the magnitude of...
Okay. Keep it a little bit close. Let me see. Okay. Okay, fine. Distance covered by it. Yes, right? Fine. So, okay. So, Daniel. So, let me know in which case this average speed and average velocity will be equal, Daniel.
Average?
In which case the average speed and average velocity will be equal?
Like I don't understand, sir.
In which case, in which condition the average speed and average velocity will be equal? In what condition? Under what condition?
Distance and time?
Okay. So this is what you are writing down in your notebook. And you told you understood everything. This is the particular question which I was explaining, right? Under what conditions the average speed and average velocity will be equal? So this is the same question which I asked you, and you are saying, sir, I have written it. What is the point of writing it when you don't know what you have learned? Daniel, what you will be doing? Write it down 10 times. Okay, this particular answer, write it down in your notebook 10 times. Clear? Daniel?
Yes.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with respect to the average speed, it is the total distance divided by the total time, and average velocity is the total displacement divided by the total time. So, with respect to it, the magnitude of average velocity of an object is equal to its average speed when the displacement of the object is equal, displacement is equal to the distance covered by it in a given time interval. So in this case, the average speed and average velocity will be equal. So this happens when an object moves along a straight line in the same direction. So over here in this particular example, can you see we have considered a straight line, right? When the object is moving in a straight line, so the shortest distance will be the displacement, right? So the displacement value and the distance will be equal if the object moves along a straight line in the same direction. So that is the case where the distance and displacement will be equal, and in that particular case the average velocity and average speed will be the same. So everyone note it down real quick. Once you're done with it, we can go ahead with the exam time. So you will be getting 5 minutes for the exam time. So once you're done with it, let me know real quick. Daniel, don't forget to do the imposition, okay? 5 times. You have to write this as well. Important. So Daniel, is not just that you have to just copy everything over here. You have to understand the concept. It is important. It's mandatory. When I'm explaining the concept, what you're doing, opening the umbrellas and all, right? And supporting your jaws and doing drama over there. I don't entertain it. So please, you can have fun. I'll be so friendly to you guys. But only if you're learning the concepts. When I'm asking you questions, you should give the answer. If you're not giving the answers, I will not be friendly in the session. I'll not be giving you time for fun. No, not appreciated. If you're responding properly, it's okay. Okay? So do focus over here. Understand the concept first, then you can have fun. Clear? Fine. So everyone note it down. Note this down, Daniel. I hope you're noting it down. Not just for Daniel. It's just a warning for everyone. Okay? You won't be getting any extra warnings. It is important. You have to understand the concept. It is not something like, okay, we'll write everything we see on screen. No. You should get the concept thoroughly. You can reach out. That's why I'm saying, guys, you can ask me. Or else, if you feel like, okay, I'm not getting the query which you're asking, you can drop it down in the chat box. I told you, right? Guys, if you're not if you're not able to give or tell me directly by raising your hands, you can drop it down. You can drop your query in the chat box. We'll be supporting you. Abid, you got the previous slide or what? You want the previous slide? No, right? Fine. Ma'am, this side Abid Abdul Aziz, is it the same Abid or different? Yes. Different, right? Fine. Abid wants the previous slide. Go for it. Take a screenshot. Those who didn't write this particular answer. Fine. Then we'll go ahead. Fine. Yes, Mehrab. Unmute yourself.
Sir, what is they give initial position and what the final position? How will we do that? Like, can you give some questions?
Yes, we'll discuss some questions regarding that. We are going to it. Then you will understand how will we consider the initial position and the final position. So anyways, so when we are saying the initial position and the final position in a particular instance of 10 seconds. So in that particular 10 seconds, at the starting of the first second, where is the object staying? What is the position of the object at the first second? That is the initial position, or at the 0th second. That is the starting position of the object is the initial position. And the final position is the position where the object is there at the 10 seconds. Or when the time is 10 seconds, where is the object standing? That is the final position when we are considering a 10 seconds time interval. Got it, Mera? So when we are considering a particular time instance, the starting point or where the journey start beginning, or even if the object is moving, if we are considering a particular middle instant, that particular instance where we consider is the initial position. Got it, Mara? So when you do problems, you'll have a better understanding. Yes.
So, like if there is no initial position and final position, we have to use the displacement, right?
Without initial position and final position, an object cannot move. So an object will not have a displacement. Got it?
So no, here you found like average velocity is equal to total displacement.
That is not without initial position or final position. That is without initial velocity and final velocity, not position.
Oh yeah, that's I was trying to say that.
So in the case of velocity, we'll be considering the initial point at which the object was standing and the final point where the object was standing. In that case, we need to find the initial displacement and final displacement. In this case, we don't have to find the initial velocity and final velocity, right? Because there are no two instances. There is only one single instance. Got it? So this is the general case. So in the general cases, we don't have to find initial velocity, final velocity divided by 2 and all. We just have to find the total displacement divided by the total time. Got it, Mera? Okay, so for a better clarity, Mera, you can take down this equation as well for average velocity. Okay, Mera? For average velocity, what you have to do? Take one more equation. Average velocity is equal to, so that you will have better clarity. You can find average velocity using two different ways. So the another way is total displacement divided by the total time taken. Got it, Mera? Clear? Clear now? Total displacement divided by total time taken. Clear, everyone? Fine. Okay, some of you are asking the question of the answer. This particular question, under what conditions is the magnitude of average velocity of an object is equal to its average speed? This is the question, and this is the particular main answer, and the remaining part of it is this particular answer. This is the detailed explained answer, and this is the shortest answer for it. Got it, everyone? Fine. So those who didn't note it down yet, please do note it down. Important. Such questions will come for sure for your final exams. Ethan wants the formula again. So when some of you are trying to write, I'll be skipping the slides. Ethan, wrote it down or what? Average velocity is the total displacement divided by total time taken. Yes, Neha, what's your query?
So total displacement if the initial and final position is the same as 0, right?
Yeah,
For
if it's 0,
example,
if the initial position and final position is the same, the total displacement will be 0.
For example, an object is moving along a circular path.
Yes.
So the average velocity will also be 0, right?
Yes, 0. If the object is starting from a particular point and reaching the same particular point itself. If the point A and B is at the same point itself, it will have an average velocity 0. That is total displacement 0 divided by particular time. Any number 0 divided by any particular number will be 0 itself, right? So the average velocity will be 0. Clear? Yes. So guys, please do note it down. Yes, Ayman, what's your query?
Sir, is the exam on the login page?
Yes, exam is there. We can go ahead once you're done. I'm waiting for you guys.
No, sir, like I'm asking, is the exam like on the login page? Will be login because like
Yeah, in the apps interface when you're logging, right, you will have a Google like Zoom link option tab, right? So below that you will have enter exam or start exam option. There's a blue tab.
Because sir, yesterday like it was the first time, so like I almost couldn't write the exam.
Okay, so I mean what you have to do is on top left. You're using a mobile device or a laptop.
It's a laptop. I got it, sir. I was just asking because like it takes time to do it.
Okay. So it's just that now it will be cleared. Now the server issue. Yesterday we had a server error, I guess. Server issue, I guess. Now it's fine, I guess. Clear? Fine. Maybe your network side or maybe our network. So I guess it'll be cleared by today. So what you have to do, guys? Please go back. Yes. More. Who was that? Insha. Yes, Insha.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Is the initial point and initial velocity the same?
No, initial position is different, initial velocity is different. Velocity means what? Displacement by time. Initial position means a particular point where the object is starting its journey. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. So, who was that? Gabriel, right?
Yes.
Yes, Gabriel, what's your query? Exam.
Oh no, I just want to
Yeah, now it will be scheduled. What you have to do? You just have to go back from Zoom. Don't leave the meeting, just go back from Zoom. So in the app interface or the website interface itself, you will get another tab just below the Google Zoom login option. Just below the Zoom login option, below that you will have enter the exam in the apps interface or in the website interface of 90 plus My Tuition app. Got it, Abid, your query cleared? Fine. So guys, it is the time for exams. So everyone, please do go enter the exam time and submit your responses real quick. So once you're done, type done in the chat box. Okay, everyone. So in the meantime, Mia sir will be making me invisible. So once you're done, I'll come back. Everyone done or what? Can I come back? How many of you got 10 on 10? Once you're done, type down in the chat box. It says 5 minutes, right? Easy 5 questions. Yes, Mira sir. So let's come back. Everyone. Everyone done or what? Yes. Nirmay. Type your concern in the chat box. Type it down in the chat box. Nirmay Jayesh. What's your issue? Nirmay, right? Nirmay, what's your concern? Type it down in the chat box. Quick. Interpret the statement means you have to understand whether the statement is correct or true or false or it has a mistake or something. Got it? Yes. Just read the statement and whether it is true or whether it has a mistake or the statement has a confusion. So all those things you have to learn. So we didn't learn acceleration. It's okay. If there is a particular question regarding the acceleration, it's okay. I'll exclude the marks for it. I mean, it's like, sir, we didn't learn acceleration. Don't ask me questions regarding acceleration. These are the basics, right? But anyways, regarding the particular topic which we didn't discuss, you don't have to get confused with it. Don't worry, the marks of it won't be considered. Yes, Jerome, type it down. Type your concern in the chat box. Not Google form, Jerome. In the app interface itself, you have to go back and you will get the link for entering the exam, not the Google form. Jerome. Got it? When you go back from the Zoom application, the app interface or the website interface itself, you'll get the option for it. I hope you guys are done with it. Okay, some of you are sharing, I got 2 wrong, 8 on 10, fine. Can we go ahead? Fine. So let's go ahead, guys. So the first question, the direction of acceleration is the same as the direction of what? So everyone is confused, acceleration, we didn't learn it, right? Anyways, the direction of acceleration is the same as the direction of change in velocity. Okay, change in velocity with respect to time is acceleration, that is A is equal to V minus U by T, that is change in velocity, initial velocity minus final velocity minus initial velocity divided by the time taken is acceleration. We didn't learn yet. So if you made a mistake in this particular question, don't worry, it's okay. Got it? Now the answer for it is none other than the second option, that is change in velocity. Okay, so let's go ahead with the next question. When the displacement of the object is equal to the distance covered by it in a given time interval, then the magnitude of average dash will be equal to the average dash. The magnitude of average velocity will be equal to the magnitude of average speed. Okay, so it is velocity and speed. We have learned this just now. When the displacement of the object and the distance is equal, the average velocity and average speed will be equal as well. So the first option is the right answer, that is velocity and speed. Okay, now in non-uniform motion, velocity varies with time, that is change in velocity will be. We have learned non-uniform motion, right? In the case of non-uniform motion, velocity will be varying, right? So the change in velocity will be 0 or 1 or infinity or not equal to 0. It will not be equal to 0, right? If there is a change in velocity in the case of non-uniform motion, it will obviously have a particular value, so it will not be 0. So the answer is last option. So you will be thinking it can be 1 as well, right? If you have clicked the second option, still you will get the marks. Anyways, now the positive acceleration. When the velocity of a body increases with time, interpret the statement. The statement is true, the statement is false. It may be true as well as false depending on the conditions. It's a neutral statement, neither true nor false. It doesn't have any idea conveyed. Guys, positive acceleration means what? You didn't learn it anyway still. When the velocity of a body increases with time. If the velocity is increasing with time, it is positive acceleration, right? Got it? If the velocity is decreasing with respect to time, it will be negative acceleration. So the statement is correct, the statement is true. So the first option is the right answer. Okay, the statement is true. Now, change in velocity with respect to time taken is defined as initial velocity, final velocity, average velocity, acceleration. Guys, this particular question, don't say, sir, we didn't learn acceleration. In this particular question, we'll consider it. Why? Because we have learned what is initial velocity, final velocity and average velocity. So we know that change in velocity with respect to time is not initial velocity or final velocity or average velocity, because initial velocity is not change in velocity. It is displacement by time. Final velocity is also a particular displacement by time. Average velocity is total displacement by time, not change in velocity with respect to time. So what is change in velocity with respect to time? It is acceleration. So the fourth option will be the right answer. This question will be considered. Don't think it is acceleration, so we'll get it excluded. No. Got it, everyone? So that's all for today, guys. So before we wind up, any queries, concerns? No queries and concerns, right? So everyone, if all the concepts which we discussed today was crystal clear, give me a double thumbs up to the camera. Let me see that energy from you all. So I'll be asking you questions in the next session. So it is important to revise all the particular portions which we covered today. It's mandatory to revise everything. So that's all. Yes, before we wind up, yes, Rishikesh having a query. Yes, Rishikesh.
Google Form.
Not Google Form. You have to go back in Zoom application. I told you it is in the app interface itself.
Which application, Zoom?
Not Zoom application, our 90 plus My Tuition app interface itself. When you go back from Zoom itself, you'll get an option to enter for the exam. Nirmay, type your concern in the chat box. Got it, Rishikesh? Yeah, please do inform our admin team if you still have a query. Nirmay, unmute yourself.
Sir.
Yes.
So since we didn't study some of the questions, then if we got low mark,
that will be excluded. That will be added up. Don't worry.
Okay.
We are considering the questions which we discussed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So, but the change in velocity with respect to time, that is acceleration, that will be considered. Don't think acceleration we didn't teach, so we'll not consider. That particular last question will be considered because we know what is initial velocity, we know what is final velocity, we know what is average velocity. So, it obviously will not be three of this, so it will be acceleration. Got it? So, anyways, before we wind up, any questions? No, right? Fine. So, that's all for today, guys. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.